Mike had always been a smooth talker, but he never imagined his charisma would carry him this far. Serving time in a high-security prison for armed robbery, Mike quickly learned how to navigate the complex social web of the facility. Though he was no saint, there was something magnetic about him, something that made people, especially women, drawn to him. He spent his days working out, reading, and watching people. He wasn't just biding time, he was observing. It wasn't the other inmates he was interested in, though. It was the correctional officers. He knew the drill. Prison guards were often isolated from the outside world, working long shifts, dealing with hostile environments, and rarely finding time to connect with anyone. Many of the female officers he saw were worn down by the job, lonely, vulnerable, and tired of the constant pressure. Mike saw an opportunity. One by one, he began targeting them. He'd start with small conversations during routine interactions, giving them compliments that felt genuine. He'd offer to help with small tasks, build rapport, and slowly break down any professional barriers. Over time, these small moments turned into longer chats, sometimes after hours, sometimes during shifts, and always in places where they could have a private word. It was clear to Mike that he wasn't just another inmate to them. He was someone who listened, someone who made them feel heard. His charm worked like magic. It wasn't long before he had successfully seduced one officer, then another, and then another. Each time he was careful. He kept everything low-key, never too obvious, always just enough to keep them coming back for more. But as the weeks turned into months, Mike's reach grew deeper. 7 correctional officers, all women, had fallen under his spell. And in a twisted turn of fate, each one became pregnant with his child. At first, it was just one officer who missed her period. But when the others followed suit, the whispers in the prison corridors started to spread. Mike didn't worry. He was already adept at manipulation, and now he had something else, a powerful bargaining chip. The correctional officers, now pregnant, were desperate to keep their jobs and reputation intact. Mike held the power, using their fear of exposure to his advantage. Eventually, rumors leaked to the higher-ups in the prison system. Investigations were launched, and the officers were questioned. It didn't take long for the truth to come out. Mike had been orchestrating this all along. His charm, combined with his clever use of the women's vulnerabilities, had led to the scandal that shook the prison to its core. The officers were immediately suspended and then fired. Some were criminally charged for their involvement, while others faced public shame and professional ruin. As for Mike, his manipulation only deepened his sentence. He was charged with additional crimes: sexual misconduct, coercion, and abuse of power. Yet, even with his increased sentence, Mike remained unfazed. He knew that within those prison walls, he still commanded a strange form of power, one that made him infamous among both inmates and correctional officers alike. In the end, Mike's story wasn't just about a man who got 7 correction officers pregnant. It was a story of control, manipulation, and the exploitation of vulnerability within a system built on authority and fear. His actions served as a dark reminder of how easily power could be abused, even in the most tightly controlled environments.